Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. My name is Beth Marfio, and it is my privilege to serve as the chair of the Department of Community Health and this year's hosts for the Community Health Commencement Ceremony. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. I know that you will want to take photos, but I request that you please take photographs from your seat only and refrain from approaching the stage area. There's a professional photographer who will be taking photos of all students as their names are called. These photos will be available for ordering on the Tufts Commencement website. Also, we ask that all cell phones and electronic devices be silenced during the ceremony. Now, please rise to welcome our distinguished host and honorary speaker, Senior Associate Vice Provost for Education, Professor Mary Davis, followed by the amazing and talented faculty of the Department of Community Health. Now, the moment you've been waiting for. Please stand to welcome the Tufts University graduates in Community Health, class of 2026. The 2026 Commencement Ceremony for the Department of Community Health and the School of Arts and Sciences will now be in order. Please be seated. I would like to begin this ceremony by introducing the members of our platform party. We ask that you please reserve your applause until I have completed all of the introductions. Professor Mary Davis, Senior Associate Vice Provost for Education. My fellow faculty in the Department of Community Health, Professor Leah Abrams, Professor Alexandra Collins, Professor John Fu, Professor Amy Lichko, Professor Shalini Tendulkar, and our special guest from Tufts School of Medicine, Dr. Stephen Fabry. At this time, I would like all of us to take a moment to recognize and welcome the parents, family members, and friends of our graduates. Without their unwavering support, we would not be gathered here to celebrate this momentous occasion. It is my great pleasure to introduce Senior Associate Vice Provost, Professor Mary Davis, to give our opening remarks.
I'd like to extend a warm welcome today to students, family, and friends to the ceremony celebrating the graduates of the Department of Community Health and the School of Arts and Sciences. I've been a member of the Tufts faculty for nearly 20 years as a professor, as a department chair in my own department, and now in university leadership, so I have a deep understanding and appreciation for the value of a Tufts education. I'm an economist by training, but I'm also a public health scholar and a nurse. I'm deeply grateful. Yes, so any nurses in here today? All right. Yes, so nursing is not what gave me this fancy outfit, but I keep it with me always. I wear my pen every time I put this fancy garb on. So shout out to nurses. So I'm deeply grateful and honored to have the opportunity to share in this moment with all of you. At Tufts, our commitment to community health reflects not only our mission to apply knowledge for the greater good, but also to our origins. Founded by Universalists who believed in inclusion, dignity, and equal access to opportunity, Tufts was built on the idea that education and by extension well-being should be available to all and not just the privileged few. At the same time, I can't say those words without also acknowledging that this institution, like many of our storied neighbors, exists on land taken from indigenous peoples and is tied to broader histories of inequality, directly and indirectly benefiting from systems shaped by slavery and displacement. But today, 175 years later, that awareness and reflection deepen our responsibility and call to action. It compels us to advance health equity, to partner with communities with humility, and to address the conditions that shape people's lives. In this way, community health is more than a field of study. It's a continuation of Tufts' highest ideals and a commitment to building a more just and equitable future. As I began to jot down a few words of wisdom to share with graduates today, I reflected on a recent group Tai Chi lesson that my department chair sponsored for our home department. My department chair is very invested in her faculty's well-being. She sponsors personal training sessions, social events, and yes, Tai Chi. This was my first experience with Tai Chi, so I'm by no means an expert, but I did draw little tidbits of wisdom that I wanted to share with you today. Tai Chi is about balance, as I think we all know. That one I knew before my one lesson, but it's also about using and redirecting force to your advantage. It's about small movements. It's about centering and aligning your mind and body. But what was most interesting to me during that Tai Chi lesson was the discussion of a pair of complementary forces, the idea of resilience without rigidity. So resilience, or the ability to adapt and withstand pressure, comes from flexibility and not brute force. So Tai Chi builds upon the idea of actually yielding to an opposing force. But make no mistake, yielding does not mean giving up. It's instead the ability to take on an energy of an opposing force and use it to your advantage. A good analogy of this is the tree that survives the storm by bending without breaking. The tree uses the force of the wind to yield to its own advantage and bend and ultimately ensure its survival through the storm. If there's one lesson from Tai Chi I'd offer to those of you, the graduates leaving Tufts today, it's don't resist change. Learn to move with it. When life pushes, you don't simply push back. You listen, adjust, and find your center again. Carry this into your community health practice, continuing studies, or wherever the next adventure takes you. Real impact comes from meeting people where they are, listening deeply, and adapting with humility so that care is shaped with communities and not simply delivered to them. And drawing upon the wisdom of yesterday's, was anyone at baccalaureate yesterday? Okay, a few. The speaker, Dhruv Sampat. Can anyone remind, what was the word that he focused on yesterday? Namaste, yes. Translated from Sanskrit as the light in me honors the light in you. And so may you engage in practice that recognizes the shared humanity of the world around you, our common light. And on behalf of the university, I share my wholehearted congratulations, not only to the graduating class, but the family members and friends that are here and supported them all along the way. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
Thank you, Vice Provost Davis, for your words of inspiration. I am pleased now to introduce Professor Amy Litchko to announce the community health students who have received Tufts University Awards for their distinctive and wonderful accomplishments in their undergraduate studies.
So I ask that recipients please stand to be recognized when your name is called. Receiving the Tufts Alumni Senior Award, Regina Agimang. Damilola Akinima. Daniela Kaplan. Sandy Wen. And Alexander Wang. Receiving induction into the 2026 Honest Civicus Society, Regina Ajemang. Damilola Akinyama. Nadia Ali. Rebecca Altos. Athika Aziz. Olivia Ferry. Daniela Copeland. Sandy Wen. Rachel Oriwa. Sophia Solon. And Alexander Vang. Receiving Phi Beta Kappa, Carly Siegel. And receiving the following academic awards: the Community Building Award, Rachel Oriawa. The Donald A. Cowdery Memorial Award, Carly Siegel. And the Philip E. A. Sheridan Prize, Gawun Yu.
Thank you. It is my great pleasure to introduce our student speaker for the 2026 Community Health Commencement Ceremony. Our speaker is Sandy Wen.
Good afternoon, faculty, staff, administrators, and class of 2026. My name is Sandy Nguyen, and it is an honor to speak with you all today. When I decided to pursue a second major in community health, it was a last-minute decision that I made one sleep-deprived night at the beginning of my third year, one that I had no idea would have such a profound impact on my final 2 years of college and reshape my relationship with the school and off-campus communities as a whole. Prior to taking courses in this major, I had a bare bones and, I'll admit, rudimentary understanding of what community health was. I thought its meaning was fairly straightforward: community plus health. Two words that, when combined, referred to ensuring the well-being of the community. What this looked like in practice, I wasn't entirely sure. And then, Introduction to Community Health helped me understand the many social determinants that create barriers to equitable health. Intro to U.S. Healthcare showed me the nuances and challenges in revising health policy. And in my most recent class, called Community Health and Social Change, I learned about the various types of behind-the-scenes work that sustains communities and offers refuge to individuals beyond just clinical settings. These classes pushed me to rethink what it means to promote health. I realized that it's not just about caring for people in the emergency room, it's about all the ways we can ensure they don't end up there to begin with. And that requires each and every one of us to be on the ground, having conversations with the people, collaborating with partners like nonprofits and policymakers, and empowering individuals to take control of their own health. Community health is ultimately about getting our hands dirty. It's about doing the heavy lifting with or without recognition, because there's no guarantee someone else will. Most importantly, it's about relationship building, having the courage to get up close and personal, and building a community rooted in support and trust. And I know that everyone here has the social skills to make that happen, because I've seen how extroverted people suddenly get during a Kahoot race. Now, with all of that being said, I have to commend you, class of 2026, because being a community health major at a time like this is no easy thing. Earlier this year, the government slashed the funding for organizations like USAID, led to the discontinuation of many essential health and humanitarian projects. Proposed cuts to Medicaid under the big bill could also put millions of people in danger of losing health insurance coverage. Needless to say, we are living in a moment where politics increasingly clash with and, at times, actively undermine community health. But while these policy changes may appear new and daunting at the moment, I'd like to remind you that people have historically come together and triumphed in the face of similar adversity. In my community health and social change class, we studied movements like the Young Lords movement, shout out to my partner Evan, which brought people together to fight for Puerto Rican independence and resist police brutality. The Mad Pride movement, which used art to advocate for neurodivergence and disability, and Black Lives Matter, which continues to challenge systemic racism today. That same spirit of collective action is still alive in mutual aid networks, in fair housing campaigns, anti-ICE protests, and more. And it will continue in all of you, future policymakers, researchers, health workers, and educators, who will carry this work forward in ways both big and small, visible and less visible. And so, although social change work can feel frustrating or unrewarding at times, we have to remind ourselves that every moment we are doing something to move the needle, whether that be calling a representative, showing up to a community meeting, or even just starting a conversation that shifts someone's perspective, counts as a success. Each of you are here for a reason. Hold on to your why. Remember what it is that motivated you to major in community health in the first place, and let that be the force that drives you forward in spite of the systems and structures that make that work difficult, and in spite of those who tell you it's pointless. Let your why invigorate your fight for a better tomorrow and a world that you would be proud to live in. Finally, know that you do not have to face the uncertain future alone. The Community Health Department is a strong community that you're already a part of, and one that you should continue to rely on. One of my fondest memories is of chatting with Professor Collins in office hours about a very important community health topic, the potential return of skinny jeans. And I will forever appreciate all the food we got to eat in class. Shout out to Professor Collins' homemade bread and Professor Tendulkar's samosas. One of my only regrets about completing this major is not being able to try more of their food. Moments like these capture the essence of community health here at Tufts. It's not just a department, it's a family. And so, as you move forward into this new stage of your life, lean on those connections, not just when you run into obstacles, but also in moments of growth and discovery. Stay in touch on social media or via email, keep asking questions, keep showing up for one another, and remember that the work you care about is always made stronger in a community. Before I conclude this speech, I'd like to take a moment to return to something I've talked about today, the importance of less visible work. I want to recognize my mom and dad for their sacrifices that have often gone unseen so that I can have the opportunity to do the more visible work. Ba mẹ, please stand up so I can properly thank you. Cảm ơn ba mẹ for bringing me food whenever I miss the taste of home cooking, for working long shifts so that my brother and I can afford a good education, and for constantly checking on my well-being to make sure I'm taking care of myself just as much as I'm taking care of others. Sorry, I'm emotional. And I'd also like to extend that gratitude more broadly. Firstly, to every parent and caregiver here who has made similar sacrifices in quiet, steady ways. And secondly, to the faculty that gave us the knowledge and tools to make so much of our work and accomplishments possible. Can we please give them all a round of applause? Lastly, we can't forget about ourselves. The 6-page papers we had to submit by midnight, the countless discussion posts we had to write, the group projects, the presentations, the exams, the moments we thought we couldn't push through, they've all led to this very moment. I remember thinking at the beginning of my freshman year that 4 years sounded so far away. And yet, we've made it. We're graduating from Tufts. So let's put our hands together for your friends and classmates sitting next to you today, and for you yourself for earning this degree. Thank you for letting me share this monumental moment with you, and congratulations, class of 2026!
Thank you, Sandy, for that very moving talk, or speech. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to begin the major commencement exercise, the roll call of this year's graduates receiving the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Community Health. Before we continue, we have the solemn honor of conferring a special posthumous degree. The Bachelor of Arts in Community Health is awarded to Julia Bradley, recognized with deep pride and remembrance as a member of the class of 2026. Though Julia's time at Tufts was tragically brief, the mark she left on the university is lasting. Julia came here with a purpose. She was drawn to community health because she believed that access to health care is a matter of justice. She studied the systems that fail people. She asked hard questions about racial inequity. And she did so with the qualities her professors and peers will always remember: curiosity, humility, and quiet perseverance. Julia was also a gifted musician. As co-president of the Tufts Wind Ensemble, she was a steadfast leader, a generous collaborator, and beloved member of this community. In everything she pursued, she made Tufts a better place. Julia will not walk across the stage today, but she is here, in the values she carried, in the people she met, and in the degree we are honored to award her now. Julia Bradley, class of 2026. We carry her memory with us as we celebrate the rest of this extraordinary class. I will now invite Professor Alexandra Collins to the stage. She will have the honor of calling our remaining graduates forward to receive their degrees.
Row 1.
Sorry. Graduates, as you come to the stage to receive the congratulations of the faculty, family, and friends, please proceed to stage right and hand your card to be read. May I now invite the first row of graduates receiving the degree in community health to please rise and come to the stage. Sorry.
Congratulations. Asia Service. Isaac Kim. Chelsea Liu. Sandy Nguyen. Regina Ajamang. Tracy Tawia. Rachel Ifoma Oriua. Kushi Jane. Micah Takahashi Kushner. Carly Eden Rothschild. Julian Schwindeman. Katie Nelson. Isabel Rose Wheat. Madeline Fabry. Gawan Yu. Nora Amaya Palkin. Riley Sainline. Mackenzie Elise Vanderberg. Emma Ray Selesnik. Carly Siegel. Olivia Driver. Alba Jordan. Don't you dare cry. Clara Goltz. Ava Marie Van Gelder. Ana Munez Rodriguez. Reina Moinzod. Ella Rosen. Maya Pearl Wexler. Atika Aziz. Sanya Desai. Allison Alden Pope. Muller Suresh. Hi, how are you? Isha Bethy. Siona Wadawan. Manali Abraham Agarwal. Nandini Krishnamurthy.
Shashua is the middle name.
Evan Shashua Gutel. Andriana Michele Leon. Alexander Vang. Nadia Ali. Damilola Akinyemi. Elizabeth Barrett. Daniela Copland.
Thank you so much.
Rebecca Altholtz. Olivia Rose Ferry.
Thank you.
Anand Yash Patil. Elizabeth Lee. Jaya Ashanti Bryan. Betiel Hinesham. Afia Sial. Isabella Flora Renee. Nimrit Kawar Sodi. Miriam Hack.
All right. Thank you, Professor Collins, for that excellent reading of the 2026 Community Health graduates' names. It's greatly appreciated. This commencement marks a major achievement and opportunity. Graduates, family, friends, and members of our Tufts community, I want to close this ceremony with gratitude. I am grateful for the families and friends who supported you, for the faculty and staff who challenged you, and most of all, for you. You chose a field that asks not only, what do I know, but also, who do I serve? You learned that listening matters, that trust takes time, and the community is not just where health happens, it is health. You are entering a world of persistent inequities and urgent challenges. There will be moments where progress feels slow and the work feels heavy. In those moments, persevere. So here's my charge to you. Stay engaged with communities, with evidence, and with one another. The relationships you've built here are sources of lasting strength. Make bold moves, question, advocate, and imagine something better. Sometimes through steady commitment, sometimes by speaking up when it matters most. Take care of yourselves and your communities. Compassion and resilience go together. Build communities of care wherever you go so that you can sustain this work over time. As you move forward in life's journey, carry Tufts with you. Its commitment to public service and its conviction that education serves the greater good. We are proud of you, we trust you, and we look forward to the impact you will make. Please keep in touch with us. We're always here for you at Tufts University Community Health Department. Families, friends, and colleagues, please join me in applauding the graduates of the class of 2026. And now, last but in no way least, please join me in a warm and resounding thanks to all of those who made this event run smoothly. These are Laura Pinkham, Holly Ritzinger, Pamela Schoenberg-Reiter, the wonderful staff of Community Health. Joanne Jack from the Registrar's Office, Elizabeth Hurley of the Commencement Office, event planning staff from Facilities, Tufts Technology and Cohen Auditorium, including Christopher Young and Susanna Dworkin. I would also like to thank Senior Associate Professor Mary Davis, Senior Associate Vice Provost for Education, Professor Mary Davis, for her gracious remarks. To conclude this ceremony, we ask that parents, family, and friends remain seated until the faculty and graduates have completed the exit recessional. The recessional will begin with faculty, followed by the graduates. Thank you, everyone.